Hello again YouTube, this is Wheels on Wheels and today I'm going to be showing you how to do an oil change on a Vauxhall Viva. This is a really quick and simple job that you can do at home with basic tools. So I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do the job and how to do it. So let's get started. So first of all, let's start off with the tools you're going to need to do the job. You're going to need an oil drain pan, a 15mm socket, or you could get away with a 15mm spanner, an oil filter removal tool, your oil and oil filter of course, some axle stands, a trolley jack, something to kneel on, its foam pad, and some cloth to wipe up any spills. So let's get started by jacking up the car. Also forgot to mention, make sure you use a wheel chock or just something to chock the rear wheels to make sure the car doesn't roll away. Right, so jacking up the car, I recommend using a jack pad like this, and what this does is it cups the pinch weld so that it doesn't damage it. So this is a really good tool for jacking up the car from the pinch weld. So I will leave a link for this down in the description below, and for everything else as well, all of the tools, I'll leave a link in the description below. So yeah, use that. This notch in the pinch weld here is your jacking point. I'm just going to place my jack underneath it and lift it up. Then once the car is jacked up, make sure to place axle stands underneath. Now, there are a number of places that you can place your axle stands. You can put it pretty much anywhere on the subframe and any solid piece of the frame of the car. What I like to do is use this part of the rear wishbone bushing that attaches to the subframe, because it cups the round sort of bushing quite nicely, and there's quite a lot of strength there, so that should be absolutely fine. But if you're in any doubt, please consult the proper jacking instructions for the car. Okay, so time to do the exact same on the other side. While you're doing this, just make sure to keep an eye on the axle stand on the other side to make sure that it's not tipping over. Make sure that it stays nice and flat and level. And once it's up high enough, pop your axle stand underneath in the same place as you did it on the other side, lower it down. And I recommend just leaving the trolley jack in place for an extra bit of safety. So next, go underneath the car and find your sump plug right here and your oil filter. So to drain the oil, gonna take the sump plug out, just pop your drain pan under, get your 15mm socket, pop it on there and loosen it off. There we are. Once it's loose, you should be able to just do it by hand. There we are. Okay, just pop the sump plug to one side and give it a few minutes to drain. Okay, so whilst that's draining, let's get the oil filter off. So grab your oil filter removal tool, counterclockwise to undo. Yeah. Once it's loosened off, you should be able to do it by hand, just like the sump plug. And as you can see, all the oil is spilling out. So give that a minute to drain down before you take the oil filter all the way out. Okay, that'll do. Let's take it all the way out. And there we go. Then just pop your oil filter on your drain pan, because there will still be quite a lot of oil in it. Leave it face down like that to drain. So preparing your new oil filter. First of all, you need to just check and compare it to make sure it looks sort of same size and everything like that, same thread. So if we just grab this one, let's just make sure. There you are, you can see it's the same size, thread looks the same, so that should be fine. So all you need to do to prepare to put this kind of oil filter in is get a bit of fresh oil. So what I like to do is just make sure your finger's clean, dip your finger in and put a fresh bit of oil on the O-ring. This ensures that the sealing ring doesn't bunch up and you get a good seal. The other thing I like to do is to pre-fill the oil filter. So just pour a little bit of oil into the filter like that. There you are. And now we're ready to reinstall the new oil filter. Okay, so just screw the new oil filter on like so. Now, you don't need to tighten these massively tight or anything like that. Just as tight as you can by hand is good enough. Just nice and snug so that it doesn't leak or come off, but you don't need any sort of tool in order to tighten it down. Next, just reinstall your drain plug, like so. And again, snug it down. Do not over tighten. Just nice and snug with your ratchet. That's it, that'll do. And just give the surrounding area a wipe, clear it from any of the excess oil. And that's all the work underneath the car done. Okay, so the oil is now drained and the oil filter has been replaced. So now it's just time to refill the oil. Okay, so now it's time to fill up the engine with fresh oil. And I just want to recommend Castrol oil check. Again, I say this in every video where I do an oil change. It is very, very useful for finding out what capacity of engine oil to use in your engine. So for this particular car, it says either 3.5 litres or 4 litres, depending on the VIN number. What I'm going to do is just put 3.5 litres in and then check it on the dipstick and see where we're at. So for a funnel, I'm just using an old Pepsi bottle that's been cut and cleaned. So you can use other similar things or don't use it at all, it's up to you. So I'm just going to pour it in now and let's see how we get on. My mum actually gave me this Pepsi Max bottle, so shout out to my mum. This is actually her car as well. Don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, that's about 3.5. So grab a piece of clean kitchen towel or tissue and just check the level, okay? That is showing full currently. However, when you start the engine, all the oil gets pumped around into all the areas where there was oil before and now there isn't. Like the oil filter, which is why I like to pre-fill the oil filter so you don't have so much loss of oil from the sump once you start the engine. Pop the oil cap back on and start her up and then check again. Switch the engine back off. Now we'll give it 5 minutes for the oil level to settle before checking again, and then we'll top up again if necessary. So the reason you've probably clicked on this video is because you have a warning on your screen that says oil change, like that. So now that you've changed your oil, you're going to want to know how to turn that message off. And I'm going to show you how to do that now the free and easy way. There are numerous ways of doing this. You can use a diagnostic scanner tool, that's how I would usually do it, but you can just do it in the car using the buttons. So I'll show you that now. So all you have to do, press the menu button until you get to where it says Tyre Learn, and use the scroll wheel down until you get to the oil life section. There you are, went past it the first time. You've got a little oil symbol with a percentage and it says 0 there. So that's telling you there is 0% oil life left. All you have to do is press and hold the clear button on the end of the stalk, and you see it's now set it back to 100%. So if you turn the ignition off and back on, you should now see there is no more oil change warning. Okay, so check the oil level again after 5 minutes or so, and I've just done that and I can see now it's below the minimum. So it is really, really important to make sure you're checking the oil level again after you've started the engine and left it for a few minutes. So I'm just going to top it back up again. Once it's topped up, make sure to start the engine up, let it run up to temperature and check for any leaks underneath. That is very important. You want to make sure that everything you've tightened up underneath is not leaking. So that's this oil change done. If you liked the video or if it was helpful to you, please consider subscribing to the channel and give the video a like as well. It really helps me out. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.